Good evening. This is Scotty Sanders here. It's Monday night, and we always want to start off Mondays as how you begin your week as far as your work. And I always like to think of Mondays as double Monday. Really push hard to get a lot done on Mondays, and it makes the rest of the week go a lot better. So I hope you're off to a great week. I know that we had some family in this weekend, Cindy's mom and dad, and we had a great celebration for Mother's Day. So a lot of good things to think about over the weekend, a lot of things to be grateful for. I hope you take time every day to think about things that you are grateful for. I'm grateful for you for checking this out. So tonight I'll be talking about building a winning team, and this is actually episode, I think it's 62. That's right, 62. And so the whole thing about building a winning team is thinking about the responsibility. One of the top priorities of a leader really is to build a winning team. It's not so much about yourself, it's about you building a team that's better than you. So if you don't know me, again, my name is Scotty Sanders. I'm an international leadership consultant, and I like to help leaders to lead themselves well. And I do that by encouraging and empowering them to live, lead, and to finish well. But I believe when you lead yourself well, it gives you an opportunity to lead others. So as we think about this idea of building a winning team, and there are all kinds of teams. There are sports teams. There are teams in companies and nonprofits. There's teams in schools. So a lot of concepts and teams. And I grew up playing sports. So I was in all kinds of teams, some good teams and some bad teams. And I was actually on some teams that maybe on the field or on the court, we weren't successful on the wins and losses, but we were a winning team because of our mindset and our attitude and other things. And I've been on some teams that we may have won on the field, but we had attitude issues. So, it doesn't guarantee what the world may say success is sometimes. Sometimes there's more important things because you may have had, less ability or skill in certain sports, but your team had a great attitude. They worked hard. They pulled together. You know what I'm talking about. So let me share some things with you as you're thinking about building a winning team that I believe that are essential to building a winning team. And here's the first one is attract top talent. You need talent, right? And the only way I've found to really be successful in attracting top talent is you've got to be a top talent yourself. It will be hard for you to attract top talent to your team if you are a weak leader. Okay, I'm just being very honest with you there. So I always say start with you. If you think about the leadership pipeline, you first lead yourself, then you lead others, then you lead leaders. Well, you always go back to, if you're not leading leaders, go back to yourself. What are you doing to lead yourself well? How are you growing? So you attract top talent by being top talent. And the other thing about attract top talent is when you have top talent, that will attract more talent to your team. So how do you go about attracting top talent? So let me share a few with you. One, have a clear vision for the kind of person you're looking for. I always say before you hire somebody, make sure you're clear on what you're looking for. I've always found it's much easier to find a person you're looking for to find someone you're not looking for. But start with a clear vision for the kind of person you're looking for. And then B there would be have a big vision for what you want to see happen in your organization. A nonprofit that I lead, Quest of the Keys, our vision is to empower 1 million of the next generation to discover their purpose, unlock their potential, and live with passion. Now, I've got some incredible team members, but I probably wouldn't have incredible team members if I said our vision is to empower 10 young people. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't excite people like a big vision. Now, we have a long way to go, but I want to attract top talent by having a big vision. And then I want to make sure that I clarify expectations, what they can expect from me, what they can expect from the organization, and what I expect from them. A lot of misunderstandings are because we've not clarified expectations. Always make sure the expectations are clear. Some of that could be in a good, clear job description. And then part of attracting top talent, I think, is having a good search process that involves interviewing well. You know, if I'm going to go on a good team, I want to know they've done their homework and they've got a good interview process, a good search process that also want to make sure that there's a good fit. So they're interviewing me, I'm interviewing them. Is it a good fit? Do I have the right skills? Do they have the right skills? And what about the right attitudes? I want to make sure I've got a good search process. We interview well to make sure that it's a good fit. They have the skills I'm looking for. They have the right kind of attitude. Very important in attracting top talent that you know what you're looking for and you got a process to go find that person. So that's the first one, attract top talent. Second is establish guiding principles. This is one of my favorite things to do with organizations is to help them to establish their guiding principles. And your guiding principles, it becomes the way that you do things as a team. It's how you work together. And you want to make sure that you get buy-in and accountability to those guiding principles, okay? And if you can think about guiding principles, almost like in sports as your locker room rules, or when you were a kid and you had the sandbox rules. This is how we work and get along together. So, you know, an example of guiding principles could be that we are going to be an empowering team, which means we want to turn power over to others and not be controlling ourselves. That would be an example of a guiding principle. Collaboration could be another one. We want to co-labor together. All right, you get the idea. Listen, on this talk tonight, Building Winning Teams, I've got a whole workshop that lasts a whole day. Just on the guiding principles, when I work with organizations, I take between 3 and 6 months for them to do this. So I'm just giving you just some really, you know, an inch deep worth of ideas related to this. There's much deeper thought that goes behind these ideas. So again, the second one is establish guiding principles. The first one, going back to that, is to make sure that you attract top talent. Third one, deal with bad behavior and bad performance. I was talking to a leader today, and he made this statement to me. We're kind of doing a little bit of what I call an autopsy of some bad leadership experience. And he said one of the things that he learned is that bad attitudes with people, it just doesn't go away. And if you don't deal with it early, it will cost you more in the long run. So his lesson he learned is when you acknowledge a bad attitude, either they need to get it right quickly or you need to move on from that person. So, you know, make sure that you deal with bad behavior and bad attitude quickly, which means you need to know how to handle some conflict resolution. A good way to do that. And conflict resolution can be healthy. We usually think about that not being something fun, and it's really not fun, but it's needed. It's part of the leader's job to build a winning team, that there is a conflict resolution process in place that deals with bad behavior and bad attitude. And then under their conflict resolution, coach up or counsel out. If you have someone that has bad performance or bad behavior, you either coach them or counsel them out. And I want to give attribution to my good friend Tim Alba for that, former CFO of CC's Pizza. I learned that concept from him as a good way to put a framework around that. When you have people with a bad attitude, bad behavior, bad performance, you either coach them up or at some point you counsel them out. But the status quo is not acceptable. All right, so let's move to number 4. Priority on developing team members for them to become developers. So part of building a winning team, you as the leader, is to train your people and develop your people on your team that they become developers. Because here's the thing, you can do at 100, and we all have to do to a certain extent, but if you become a developer, it's exponential, it's unlimited. And so that leads me to my point, is that if you're a developer, you have unlimited potential, because if you develop people, you could develop 1,000 people. It becomes unlimited on the potential that can happen there. So you want to be, as a leader, building a winning team. You want to bring people on your team. You want to develop them so that they become developers themselves. And really, developers are all about the team. So you start building into the team that is all about building up others. It's about developing others. And that's what excites people, right? Is when they get to develop and pour into others, it builds that winning team. They help you to build the winning team. And here's the fifth one. We'll close on this one, and that is alignment. You know, a winning team must be aligned and all going in the same direction. And also, here's another sports metaphor here. So there's some teams, you could have a golf team. And so when I think about an organization or a business, I don't want to operate like a golf team because they're each individually playing on their own, and you may have the composite score, but they're playing their own matches, right? Or a tennis team. And even a football team, which I love football, but in that you have special teams, you have defense, and you have offense. But think about a basketball team. As a basketball team, there's greater alignment because they're all playing offense and they're all playing defense, right? And so there's greater alignment. So you want to make sure there's alignment, that everyone is moving in the same direction. Misalignment. Think about your car getting misaligned. Before you know it, you're off in the ditch. If you want to build a winning team, you want everybody moving in the same direction, not people peeling off, doing their own thing. So everybody has to be aligned to a common vision and a common mission. Now, those are 5 components in my mind of building a winning team. So let me hit them again. First, attract top talent. You got to have talented people. 2, establish guiding principles. It's important that people know what are the guiding principles in which our team will operate. 3, a way to deal with bad behavior, bad attitude, bad performance. We can't tolerate that. So we want to have good conflict resolution, and we want to coach or counsel people out. And there's got to be priority on developing people that become people developers. We need to be in the people business on developing people. And then number 5, that we need to have a team that's all aligned toward a common goal, a common purpose, the same vision, and the same mission. So this is it. Again, I could teach on this subject for hours and hours and hours, but this is basically the framework in which I teach organizations on how to build a winning team. So if you want to be a leader, then you need to make sure you spend a big portion of your time building a winning team. I hope this has been helpful to you. I would really appreciate it if you would hit the share button and pass this on to some others. And I hope this week you will keep leading well till we get back together next time. Take care.